Alright, so this is going to be a 30-minute yoga session, starting standing on our mat, clasping our hands behind our back, and opening up the chest, opening up the heart, just taking it in. You can raise your arms up and bring your hands to heart center, just starting off with some grounding and just settling into our body, into our breath. So just open your arms and just begin to open up for this practice. And begin to roll those shoulders back, big shoulder rolls, breathing in as you go up, exhaling as you go down. Inhaling up. Now we're going to the front, inhale up, exhale as you roll down. You can clasp your hands in front of you and just round that back and feel the opposite sensation from when you open your chest. We're going to do a few just back and forth with opening as you breathe in, really expand, and just rounding up and closing, just feeling the opposing sensations. Good, and that's it for that. We're going to bring our hands up above our head. As you go on your tiptoes, you're going to clasp your heads above your hands and go all the way up, and then bring your hands down as you exhale. So reach all the way up, exhale all the way down to the head, and raising your arms and body, stretching up and down. Good, and that's it for that. And kind of shake it out. Just kind of move your body, waking up. Shake it out from the shoulders. You can shake out your hand. Just kind of free flow with it here. Just let your body move how it wants to. Just some shaking. Get a little funky with it. You shake the feet off. Shake the water off your hands. Anything you just want to get rid of. So that we can be nice and open for our practice. You can bring your hands wide and up, and forward fold down. Try to plant your hands halfway up and back down, just releasing. We're going to walk up to the front of the mat into high plank. Hold that high plank here, squeezing in that core. Good. We're going to drop the knees down and just go into child's pose, but active child's pose, so you're actively reaching forward with your hands. Good. And slowly roll up. Just breathe here. Breathe for a moment. We're going to just do some wrist rolls, awakening the wrists, getting blood flow going. Just roll and flow. Roll them back and forth. Good. Now we're going to come to all fours and do some cat to cat stretch. So as you breathe in, you're going to arch the back, look up. As you exhale, really round it out, push through the shoulders. And just move with your breath here. Inhale, arch, exhale, round. Good. Breathe it out round. That's it. Now you're going to lift up. Go to downward facing dog, lifting the hips up and back, trying to straighten those hands and playing with the feet and kind of seeing if we can bring our heels down to the earth. Play around with that. Now to push up plank, we're going to engage Kapalbhati breath, exhaling intensely quickly through the nose. Good, keep going with that, engaging the core. Keep breathing out and exhales. Quick, intense exhales. Good, keep going. And breathe in and exhale to downward facing dog. We're going to lift up the right leg all the way up to the sky and bring it forward into our lunge, we're going to drop that back knee, look up, and lift that back knee. And go ahead and come up to your lunge. Nice and tall, raise your arms up. And straighten that front knee as you come to your heart center. So once again, we're going to bend and straighten. So bend to lunge, raise your arms up, and straighten to heart center. Making sure when you bend, that knee is over your ankle. And exhale to heart. Good. Now clasp your hands behind your back. Just get a nice chest opener before we go back. We're going to fold our hands in front of our chest and go ahead and put your left elbow over your right leg and get a nice twist. Hands can stay at heart center, or you can go ahead and open up your hands for a deeper twist. And slowly, gently exhale and come back to center. Drop that back knee and push those hips back to straighten that front leg and get a nice hamstring stretch. Do what you can here, do what feels good. Get a little stretch. Trying to reach that head to the knee. I'm going to go ahead to downward facing dog. Just breathe, downward dog. Go ahead and lift that left leg all the way up and bring it in between your hands. Drop that back knee and look up to lunge. Now raise that back knee, and we're going to go ahead and do the same thing, raising our hands up. And as you bring them down, straighten that left knee. And continue doing that bend as you bring your arms up. And as you straighten your hand to heart. Breathe in and exhale as you straighten. Moving with the breath. Just bring the hand to heart, and now we're going to put that right upper arm over our left knee, keeping integrity in the spine and in the legs, and just feeling that twist as you breathe. If you wish to open your arms for that deeper twist, you can. Just staying strong through that back leg, and on your exhale, come to center. Go ahead and drop that back knee. Push those hips up and back as you get that left hamstring stretching. Just breathe through that stretch. And go ahead and meet the other leg back to downward facing dog. You want to just walk your feet to your hands into forward fold. And slowly roll your body all the way up. Good. You can bring your arms up to the air to receive, down to the heart. Good. And once again, arms all the way up and forward fold down to the earth, releasing the back and neck. And step or hop back to plank. Once again, Kapalbhati breath. Focus on one point, big exhales. Quick, fast-paced, intense. Through the nose. That core is engaged, staying strong, finding a focus point. Keep going. Good, and breathe in, and on your exhale, downward dog. Push that head between those arms. And back to plank, we're going to bring that right knee up and to the center. Between the arms, once again, right leg all the way up, and bring it hovering over to those arms. Just a little core work. Once again, all the way up, and bring that knee in, and just go ahead and sit on that leg for a little pigeon. So find what feels good here. If you need to bend at the knee a little bit more, bringing your foot to your groin area, or if you can make that leg parallel to your perpendicular to your body, then even better. Just feel that nice stretch, breathing into that stretch. You might be feeling it in your hip flexors. Just see what feels good. If you want a deeper stretch, go ahead and exhale your way into fold. Just breathe here. If you want a deeper stretch on your back leg, onto the hip flexors, you can bring the ankle to your hand and just grab and get a deeper stretch if this is in your practice. Otherwise, just stay in pigeon if you're feeling a good stretch there. It's all about seeing what your body needs and how far you want to take the stretch without hurting yourself. So just breathing in pigeon here. If you want to do a little back bend, chilling. All right, so breathe into that stretch, that final breath, and slowly coming out, we're going to push back into downward facing dog, playing with those heels again. And now we're going to raise that left leg all the way up, bring it in between to hover between your hands, all the way up. As you inhale, exhale it in between your hands for that core. Good, all the way up to the sky and in between your hands. One more time, raise that left leg, inhale, and exhale it down to pigeon. Good. Seeing which side is a little more flexible and using the breath to relax into the stretch. If you relax, you can always go a little bit deeper. And if you have it in your practice to go ahead and fold into your pigeon. Otherwise, stay up, see where you're feeling that stretch. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my back leg and just kind of get a little extra stretch here by grabbing my ankle and pulling it towards my body. A little deeper stretch here for those hip flexors, those quads. And just breathing, trying to keep the mind in the present, using the breath to keep us staying here. Our thoughts they can wander for a second, but just try to bring your attention back to the present. So push back into downward dog here and step or hop back to forward fold and slowly roll up, arms to the sky, back down. We're going to step to the front of the mat and we're going to do a Kriya here. So step the right leg back to warrior one, and in this Kriya it's like a bow and arrow. So we're going to go ahead and go into warrior two. Your left arm is in the front. You're going to point your thumb upwards. Your arms are nice and parallel to the ground. You're going to bring that right arm, pull the bow and arrow back, and just begin Kapalbhati breathing. Intense, fast exhales. And stare at your left thumbnail. Little bounces in the legs. So, quick exhales, your belly's going in and out quickly. Just stare that thumbnail down. Are you going to inhale, point your arrow, and let it go where you want it. Now go ahead and rotate your toes so they're facing the front, same direction. And just do a forward fold here, wide-legged fold. And you can grab your big toe with your hands. Just breathe here. Breathe into the stretch. If you can put your head flat on the ground. Otherwise, just stay what feels good. And if you want, I am clasping my arms here and just getting a little deeper stretch in the back. And then slowly exhale and come all the way up. Step to the front of your mat. Shake it out. Go ahead and do warrior on the other side. Warrior two, open your arms. Right hand tilted up. Go ahead and start staring at your thumb. Pull the arrow back and begin your Kapalbhati for this Kriya. Quick, fast-paced exhales. Warrior stare at that thumb. Helping with your concentration. Helping to clear the head, clear the mind. Point that arrow up as you inhale and let it go. Good. Alright, so just a little bouncy, shaking off. Just let anything go that might still be hanging on, letting it go. Just so shake off from whatever body part you want to. Going to go ahead and prepare for our next exercise. So I'm going to just shake off that last residuals. We're going to go ahead and bring our hands to our shoulders. We're going to breathe in as we twist right, exhale as you twist left through the nose. So in, twist left, out. Just breathing. Nice and quick. And to the center, open the chest. Good. So just go ahead and forward fold, and then we're going to step the legs back a little bit so that we can bring our forearms down to the earth. We're going to play around with some headstands here, so if you have that in your practice, kind of go ahead and see what works for you. With your hand placement, I like to put mine clasping my head, and it helps me to take a lot of pressure off my head. So you can kind of play with taking the weight off one leg at a time if you don't have the full headstand, and kind of just playing with the weight. But if you have your full one, just go ahead and put your legs up in the air, play around with that. Being safe here, we don't want to do anything we're not ready for. We have to have the proper preparation. So go ahead and come down, do a quick child pose, just settle in the breath. Maybe think about how that felt, how your body feels. Go ahead and come up, and we're going to do some handstand play. So if you have your handstand or you just want to practice, go ahead and place both arms on the ground and practice kicking one leg up at a time, and just kind of either coming up and down with that or going ahead and finding our balance. So it helps me to find one point to look at. And if you're really wanting to get better at your handstand, never be afraid to go a little too far and land in a back bend. So just kind of playing around with that. Then we're going to go ahead into a forward fold and just catch our breath and roll slowly up. Good job. It's always fun to add handstand to your practice and get some inversion therapy. So you're going to go ahead and turn and to where the mat is nice and long. So going into butterfly for a little hip opener. Place your feet as close to the body as you can, as far as they'll go. And just kind of little bounces as we breathe, relaxing our legs, opening the hips. So I'm going to straighten my left leg as my right leg comes to my left inner thigh, and go ahead and twist to the left. Chest is nice and open, we're not collapsing. Getting a nice stretch in our side. And slowly exhale, come up. I'm going to go ahead and face those hips to that left leg as you slowly roll down, trying to keep your spine nice and neutral. Just breathe into that stretch here. Putting your hands where you feel comfortable, whether it's around your shins or if it's all the way down your ankles or around your foot. See what feels good and breathe. And exhale, slowly come up. So this next one will be a preparation for splits. So your left leg will go up into lunge position. Right leg goes back with your knee down. Go ahead and push your hips back and stretch the hamstring. And flip forward to stretch the quads. So kind of going back and forth between that. These are the two big muscles involved in your splits. And once you feel ready on that, then you can either go ahead into your split. If you don't have your split, just keep doing the back and forth, stretching the hamstrings and the quads. And that's a good preparation for splits. Otherwise, just go ahead and go into your split, trying to keep your hips facing forward, so that it's one hip side is not going way back, and that they're kind of evenly spaced. I like to take it a little deeper, if it's in your flexibility range, with my quads, and raise that back leg. Just kind of reach it towards my body. It's kind of takes a lot more practice to get to this level of flexibility. So don't push yourself too far. You don't want to hurt yourself. Go at your pace and slowly work your way up to being able to do stuff like this. It's all part of the journey. It's different stages for different people, but we can all get there with practice. So, going to go ahead and switch to the other side. So my right leg this time is going to straighten, and my left foot's going to come to the right hamstring as I open to that side twist, reaching that left arm to that right toe. Opening the side body. Breathing into that. Good. Keeping that chest open. And exhale as you slowly come up. Okay, we're going to go ahead and tilt our hips toward that right foot. Raise your arms up and exhale down, trying to keep that neutral spine. If you can reach your head to your knee, that's great. Otherwise, just go to what feels good for you. Get a nice stretch. Just listening to the breath here. Letting go of any tension in our face. And exhale, come up. We're going to do the split prep on this side with a runner's lunge, and then flipping those hips back to hamstring stretch. It's kind of back and forth for this. One side might be more flexible than the other, so kind of play with that. See where you're at. If you want to go into split, you can do that here, or keep going with your split prep. Once again, making sure those hips are both aligned so that your left side isn't all the way back. That'll really help to really work that flexibility on that back leg. So just breathing wherever you're at. Kind of do a forward fold here. Kind of play with it, play with the flexibility, see what feels good. And I'm going to go ahead and bend my right foot for this one. I'm not as flexible on this side, so I'm not going to keep it in a split. I'm going to bend the right foot in and then lift the back leg to my back. This is my less flexible side, but I'm trying to balance the sides, so still working each side, not forgetting one side just because we're more flexible on that side. Let's see if we can keep our focus in the present moment as we transition. Go ahead and go into your really relaxed child's pose. Going to relax my shoulders, my arms down beside me, and just let go to the earth, surrender, breathing. Shoulders are heavy and into the earth. Just breathe here. You can close your eyes. And exhale, you're slowly up, all the way up to neutral spine. Good. Alright, so go ahead and come up onto your knees, straighten. You're going to do a heart opener, so bring your hands on your sacrum and just tilt those hips forward as you open that heart to the sky. Do a little back bend here, opening the chest. You can just breathe into this and take it a little bit deeper. See what feels good for you. You can tilt that head back, really push those hips forward. Your legs are hip width or further apart, so it's up to you. The closer they are together, the harder it will be. So go ahead and come round your back to child's pose. Breathe here for a moment. Release the back. And then you can go ahead and start again. So raise up. You can either keep your hands at your sacrum as you go back, or this time you can take a little further, bring your hands to your heels or your ankles. But if you haven't done that before, I don't recommend doing that. You can keep your hands at your sacrum. Once again, listening to your body so that we don't hurt ourselves. You're going to slowly come up as you exhale into that surrendering child's pose. Good, and come on back up. One more time, we're going to reach back, hands on sacrum or hands at ankles. Really open-hearted to the sky. You can drop that neck, really relax it, just drop it back. Seeing what feels good. If there's any changes we need to make. We're going to exhale, slowly rolling up. Good, very nice. Just breathe. Feel the sensations in your body. You can bring your hands to heart and just kind of take that in. Take in what you've done. Feeling good. We're going to round again into child's pose. This time active child's pose. Reaching your hands up in front of you. Going to exhale up. And go ahead into downward dog. Letting that spine be nice and long. Pushing those hips up and back. Pushing that mat forward so that your head can go in between your arms. Now, top of push-up plank. Go ahead and into chaturanga, into upward facing dog. So see what you have to do to get to upward facing dog. Facing dog once again. And step or hop back into forward fold and roll it up nice and slow. Hands to the sky and forward fold here. Step or hop back to downward facing dog, to chaturanga and upward facing dog. Let's get downward dog. Exhale. Bring that right leg in between the hands. Back to downward dog. Left leg in between the hands. Step that right to meet the left. Forward fold. Bring your hands all the way to the sky. And release. Good. So just, once again, a little freestyle shake. You're going to go ahead and do some stuff on the back. So come down to your mat. Go ahead and get onto your back. A little bit happy baby here, so hip opener. Go ahead and bend at the knees. Grab the outside of your feet, just play. Finding that inner child inside of you.
kind of moving, tilting around. And when you're done, you can bring your feet onto the mat, bend knees. I'm going to do a little bridge here. So do a little wrist stretch here for a moment. You can either go to bridge or you can go ahead and go into full wheel. So that's up to you. Just warm up the wrists a little bit. You can bring your hands by your shoulders. And if wheel is in your practice, go into wheel. Otherwise, just stick with a bridge here. Breathe. Breathe it in. You can even think about the sensation in your back and just breathe into it. Very nice. Good. Stay breathing. And you can slowly go ahead, and if you want to take it deeper you can, but otherwise just slowly go ahead and bring your back down to the mat. Try to flatten that back on the mat. Kind of grab your knees and roll side to side, massage that back. That just did some work for us. So you can kind of roll here, a little rock and roll, massage that back some more. So we're almost done. We're going to do the opposing for that wheel. So we're going to bring our feet to the front, arms up. We're going to forward fold, Padasana, head to knee. Just breathing into those hamstrings. That back is feeling nice and good. And come up. Going to just cross your legs, do some neck rolls here. So sit comfortably. Exhale as you come down. Inhale your neck up. Exhale your neck around. Nice and slow. Breathe in as you're up. Exhale it around. Nice and slow. Really relaxing. And just breathe here. Almost done with our practice. Just going to focus on the breath for these last few moments. Sitting up. You can put your attention on your third eye center and just breathe into it. Taking in our practice. If you want to go ahead and do some pranayama here, you can. Otherwise, just breathe. A little meditation before we finish the practice.
Keep meditating as long as you want. Thank you for joining me.